It is 3 a.m. You are almost asleep. Warm, drifting, safe. And then, out of nowhere, your brain hands you a memory from 9 years ago. The time you waved back at someone who was not waving at you. Your eyes snap open. You feel your face get hot in the dark. You curl up a little. You let out a sound only you will ever hear. Why would your mind do this? Why does it wait until you are defenseless, then dig up the single most humiliating thing you have ever done? You probably think your brain is just glitching, a bad piece of software replaying a corrupted file. But the real answer is far stranger than that. Your brain is not malfunctioning at all. It is doing exactly what it was built to do. And once you understand why, that 3 a.m. cringe will never feel quite the same again. Let us start with the obvious question. Why night? During the day, your mind is busy. There are tasks, screens, people, decisions. Your attention has somewhere to be. But when you lie down and the lights go out, all of that external noise drains away. And your brain does not switch off. It switches modes. Neuroscientists call it the default mode network. It is a set of brain regions that lights up the moment you stop focusing on the outside world. The researcher Marcus Reichel helped discover it by noticing something odd. When people were resting, doing nothing, certain parts of their brain were not going quiet. They were getting louder. This is the part of you that wanders, that daydreams, that replays. So, when you finally lie still, you are not powering down. You are handing the microphone to the one part of your mind that loves to talk about you. And what does it want to talk about? Not the 1,000 things that went fine today. It wants to talk about the wave, the wrong name, the joke that landed in silence. That is not random either. That is design. Your brain has a built-in bias toward the negative. The psychologist Roy Baumeister summed up decades of research with 4 simple words. Bad is stronger than good. A single criticism outweighs 5 compliments. One betrayal erases years of trust. And one embarrassing moment gets filed away with a big red flag on it, while 100 pleasant moments quietly dissolve. Why would evolution build a brain like that? Think about where you came from. For your ancestors, a good day was just a good day. But a threat, a mistake, a moment that lowered your standing in the group, that could be the difference between belonging and being cast out. And in a small tribe, being cast out meant death. So your brain learned to hold on to the painful things harder than the pleasant ones. Not to torture you, to protect you. But here's where it gets deeper. Why are the memories that haunt you almost always social? Not the time you stubbed your toe, the time you said the wrong thing in front of people. The neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger ran an experiment that changed how we think about this. She put people in a brain scanner and had them play a simple online ball tossing game. Then, partway through, the other players stopped throwing them the ball. They were being excluded, left out. And when Eisenberger looked at their brains, she saw something remarkable. The same regions that light up during physical pain were lighting up during social rejection. Read that again. To your brain, being left out and being injured are processed in overlapping circuits. Social pain is not a metaphor. It is real pain. Your brain treats a moment of embarrassment with the same alarm system it uses for a broken bone. So that cringe memory is not trivial to your brain. It is flagged as a survival-level threat. Of course it keeps coming back. But knowing it is painful does not explain why it loops. Why the same memory, again and again, for years. Surely your brain should file it away and move on. The answer lies in a discovery made almost a century ago by a psychologist named Bluma Zygarnik. She noticed that waiters could remember complex orders perfectly, right up until the moment the bill was paid. After that, the memory vanished. The act of finishing closed the loop. As long as something felt unresolved, the mind kept it active, humming in the background, refusing to let go. This is the Zygarnik effect. Your brain hates an open loop, and an embarrassing memory is the ultimate open loop. There is no resolution. You cannot go back and fix it. You cannot undo the wave or rewrite the silence. The moment is sealed, but the feeling never got closure. So your mind keeps the file open, waiting for an ending that will never come. And every quiet night, it pulls that file back out and asks the same question. Can we fix this yet? Now layer on one more thing. Emotion is the glue of memory. The neuroscientist James McGaugh spent his career studying why some memories stick while others fade. He found that emotional arousal, especially stress, triggers a flood of hormones that tell the brain one thing. This matters. Remember it. The more intense the feeling, the deeper the memory is burned in. This is why you cannot recall what you ate last Tuesday, but you can recall in perfect cinematic detail the most mortifying 10 seconds of your life. The embarrassment itself is what carved the memory so deep. The pain is not a side effect. The pain is the engraving tool. So let us put the pieces together. At night, your default mode network turns inward. Your negativity bias hands it the worst material. Your social pain circuitry treats that material as a genuine threat. The Zeigarnik effect refuses to let the loop close, and the original emotion welded the whole thing into place. It is not a glitch. It is 5 different survival systems working in perfect, miserable harmony. But there is one final twist, and it is the strangest of all. You try to stop thinking about it. That is the natural response. Push the memory away. Think about anything else. And what happens? It comes back stronger. The psychologist Daniel Wegner studied exactly this. He gave people one simple instruction: do not think about a white bear. And of course, that is all they could think about. He called it ironic process theory. When you try to suppress a thought, part of your mind has to keep monitoring for that very thought, just to make sure you are not having it. Which means a hidden part of you is constantly checking. Am I thinking about the embarrassing thing? Am I thinking about it? And every check summons the thing right back. So the harder you fight the 3 a.m. memory, the tighter it grips. You are not failing to forget. You are accidentally rehearsing. This is the trap. The very effort to escape the cringe is what keeps it alive. So what do? Here is what the science quietly suggests. You stop fighting. When the memory arrives, you do not shove it away and you do not spiral into it. You let it be there. You notice it, the way you would notice a car passing outside. Oh, that again. And you let it drift by without grabbing on. Because remember the Zeigarnik effect. The loop stays open because it is demanding a resolution. But the resolution it wants, going back and fixing the past, is impossible. There is another kind of ending, though. Acceptance. The quiet acknowledgement that it happened, that it is over, that it cannot be changed, and that you survived it anyway. That is a closed loop. That is the bill being paid. And here's the most freeing part of all. That memory that has haunted you for 9 years, the person you waved at has no idea. They forgot it within minutes, if they ever noticed at all. Because their brain, just like yours, was far too busy guarding its own private collection of 3 a.m. memories to keep any of yours. Everyone is lying awake, replaying their own wave. Every single person you have ever been embarrassed in front of is somewhere cringing at something you never even saw. You are not uniquely awkward. You are just uniquely aware of your own highlight reel of shame, a reel that no one else has ever watched. So the next time it is 3 a.m. and you are warm and drifting and safe, and your brain reaches for that old familiar memory, try to remember what it actually is. Not a glitch, not proof that you are broken. It is an ancient alarm system built over millions of years, doing its loyal, exhausting best to keep you inside the tribe. It is not your enemy. It is just a very old guard, standing watch in the dark, replaying the same warning to a danger that passed long ago. And you are allowed to tell it, gently, that it can finally rest.